Indie Comics Deep Dive with Mona and Sam. Welcome to a very special celebratory deep dive of Indie Comics Deep Dive with Mona and Sam. I am your host, Sam.
And I am Mona. We're so thrilled you decided to hang out with us today.
Yeah, the energy in the studio right now is, it's just completely buzzing.
Oh, completely buzzing. Because we have a very specific mission for this special deep dive.
Right. We are dedicating this entire deep dive to wishing a massive happy birthday to the one and only Phil Miller.
Happy birthday, Phil.
Yeah.
The energy in the studio today is it's phenomenal. We are in full-on party mode. And to you listening right now, thank you so much for celebrating with us.
But today is purely about shining a spotlight on the guy holding the pencil.
Yes. And if you could see the studio right now, you would know we are taking this seriously. I mean, we have streamers and comic pages plastered all over the acoustic foam.
And sitting right between our microphones is a cake.
Okay, I have to confess something to you about that. Jenna and I were geeking out earlier about how much Phil's work means to us. And, well, because he's just that important to us, I decided to do something special. I baked him a birthday cake.
Yes.
From scratch.
This is genuinely the best part of the day. Our sources include the undeniable photographic evidence of this baking adventure.
Okay, yes, it's slightly embarrassing, but I own it. It was my very first time baking a cake from scratch. If it were anyone else, I probably would have just bought a sheet cake, but I wanted to make it myself, even though it came out.
Just a little lopsided.
A little lopsided, yes.
That's a very generous way of putting it.
Yeah.
The photos document the chaos.
I baked this from scratch.
You did.
It was my very first time, and my kitchen literally looks like a flower bomb went off.
It really does. I saw the pictures.
It's slightly lopsided, and it has, well, an enthusiastic amount of frosting. But I made it myself because Phil's work is just that important to us.
It is a structural marvel in its own right. And speaking of enthusiasm, a quick heads up to you listening. Our good friend and resident indie comics superfan, Jenna, has been pacing the hallway outside the glass for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, so if you hear someone randomly shouting from the background today, that is just Jenna letting her fandom show.
She is definitely officially part of the record now.
But to really appreciate why Jenna is cheering and why we are throwing this party, we need to rewind the clock a bit.
Let's do that.
You can come in and join us, Jenna.
Thanks, Mona. I didn't want to miss Phil's birthday show.
Jenna, tell us how Phil got started on his journey into comics.
So it all really kicks off back in the early 90s. Phil starts submitting his art to Marvel Comics, and right away, they see something special. His work gets featured in Marvel Age magazine's New Talent department. Then in 96, he goes to Uticon and has this fateful meeting with writer Len Mihalovich, and that, right there, changed everything.
And here it is. This is the actual clipping from Marvel Age magazine number 96. I mean, think about it. Right out of the gate, the biggest name in comics was taking notice and telling the world, hey, you need to watch this guy.
And it wasn't just some random editor. This quote, this is from the one and only John Romita, the legend, a Marvel art director. He praised Phil's good, dynamic approach, talking about how his figures just burst with energy. I mean, wow, getting that kind of compliment from Romita, that's just incredible.
And you can totally see what he was talking about in these panels, right? Our sources say his style was often compared to another absolute legend, the great John Buscema. You can just feel that powerful classic anatomy and storytelling. It's undeniable.
The whole journey with Lenovations Press essentially kicks off in 1996.
Right, at a convention called Uticon in Utica, New York.
That's the one. That is where Phil first crossed paths with writer Len Mihalovich and Michael Kelleher.
He brought a portfolio filled with these incredibly impressive sequential art samples. The pages had this classic, highly powerful aesthetic that strongly resembled the late, great Marvel legend, John Buscema.
Just masterful, grounded anatomy and figures that look genuinely imposing. Phil and Len began collaborating on the early Section 12 stories under Dilemma Productions.
But, you know, an artist's career is almost never a straight line. The mid-90s were a super tough time for comics, especially for indie creators. It was a total roller coaster.
The industry experienced a massive crash,
which wiped countless incredible indie titles right off the map. Section 12 unfortunately fell victim to that systemic collapse.
They did try a brief revival in 1997 with Mythic Comics, but that also ended due to industry-wide distribution problems.
It is heartbreaking. So Phil actually made a major pivot and shifted his focus to commercial illustration.
Right, he did everything from toy packaging to educational books and corporate investment portfolios.
But his true passion remained comic books, and that commercial discipline really refined his panel layouts and visual hierarchy.
Which perfectly sets the stage for his grand return. Fast forward to 2014, and Len Mihalovich officially launches Lenovations Press.
Operating on a boutique model with the motto comics done for fun.
And then, in 2017, it finally happens. The Dream Team gets back together. Len and Phil reunite to bring Section 12 back, and this time, they were going to do it their way.
Phil quickly became the visual identity of the entire Lenovations Press universe.
Designing iconic characters like Nightfall and Misfire and the monstrous Batter.
And the universe just kept expanding. They did some incredibly fun projects like Red Mask Rides again, which is this great Golden Age masked cowboy revival.
Oh, and fantastic Fanboys Adventures, which even crossed over into Don Simpson's Megaton Man multi-mentions.
Plus the Section 12 Antarctic special featuring Antarctic Press's Tomorrow Girl.
Which brings us to his massive recent accomplishment, the perfect reason to celebrate today.
His range is just absolutely staggering. So with a career like this, filled with so much incredible work, how do you even measure success? Is it just about sales or how many comics you draw? Well, there's another level.
National recognition. It's when the best in the business, your actual peers, stand up and say, your work is truly outstanding. That's the real deal.
And here's the proof. For his amazing work on Avenger New Blood #1, Phil was named a finalist for a National Cartoonist Society Award. For those who don't know, that's basically like the Oscars for cartoonists. It's a massive, massive honor and just shows how respected his talent really is. Which brings us right back here to today. A career just packed with passion, persistence, and phenomenal art.
So officially on air, we want to wish Phil a very happy birthday.
So let's raise a slice of that wonderfully lopsided cake.
Happy birthday, Phil. And hey, the lopsided, flour-dusted cake is waiting for you. We are taking bets on whether you will be brave enough to actually eat a slice.
It is the thought that counts. Thank you so much to you, the listener, for hanging out and celebrating this special deep dive with us.
Yes, thank you.
Before we go, we want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. With indie comics seeing a resurgence of classic Golden Age styles, we want you to imagine something.
Which forgotten, classic superhero from the past would you most want to see revived and reimagined by a modern indie visionary like Phil Miller?
Let your imagination run wild with that one. Keep supporting indie comics, and we will catch you on the next special deep dive.